before that I went to summer camp for many years as a child and youth, and every year as summer approaches, I inevitably still have a dream about summer camp. It was a strange thing to leave home for 2 months every summer, a strange and a wonderful thing. And in many ways, camp is what taught me how to say goodbye. For 2 months, you're with people, and then after those intense 2 months, you go your separate ways. At best, when I was young, you could write a letter by hand and send it in the mail. Things are different now. But the trick about camp was that there was no guarantee that the other kids or your favorite counselors would be coming back the next summer, so you had to be able to say what needed to be said in the moment. And those goodbyes were often very protracted, like the last campfire the night before, and then the morning of, and then on the bus, and then off the bus. And bus notes where you wrote down what they needed to hear so they could read it again on the bus while they're going home. It was always hard, those intense months, and then nothing, and it never really got easier even as I got older. But I suppose in the end, it was a lesson in what goodbyes can look like, a lesson in saying goodbye as eventually we all must. It was a lesson in how to be honest and clear and say the things that needed to be said. And so I'm going to try to do that with you this morning. 4 years ago, I stood before you after preaching 2 sermons and spending the week with you, and you declared by vote that you wanted me to come here and be with you and serve with you and minister to you. And in that moment, despite having done school and an internship and worked in a congregation before, in that moment, I felt what it truly means to be called. To be called to walk alongside a community and a people. I was then, and I still am, very grateful to all of you. When I arrived here a few months after that, just shy of 4 years ago, I was excited and terrified and hopeful and terrified and eager and terrified. You get the picture. It's no small thing to come into the life of a congregation with big dreams of what you will mean to each other. It is no small thing to try to understand and learn the ways of a community that has been together for a long time through many changes of its own. And when a minister comes in, we are asking them to come in and be present in the most intimate of moments in individual lives and in a congregation's life. In these last 4 years, I have spoken with you about fears about your children, your marriages. I've spoken to you about your visions of your futures. I have blessed your babies and buried your parents, celebrated your unions. It has been an honor and a privilege, probably cry. I came to you new to ministry. These 4 years have been an unbelievable learning experience for me, and I think and I hope also for this congregation. Lord knows I have plenty of learning still to do, but it will always be true that you all, first forged my ministry in the most real sense. It will always be here among you that I truly came to understand what it means to be a minister. So as I have thought about saying goodbye, I have thought about that, about what I have learned, what I hope you have learned. I've thought about the challenges and the triumphs and about all that I still need to learn and understand and all that you as a community have yet to become. One of the first things the search committee told me at pre-candidating weekend was that this congregation always had a split vote on everything. The meetings were long and the vote was 50-50 every time. And I will point out that last weekend we had a 40-minute annual meeting with nary a split vote to be held. This congregation has grown in its exercise of its democratic process. Hearing voices, honoring voices, but prioritizing community and moving forward over individual need. In these last years, you have changed your name, determined a mission statement, and begun to embrace what that truly means. You've created a logo. It sounds like a small thing, but it speaks to an understanding of who you are and realizing that putting that in the world in a visible and active way matters. You have done that oft-dreaded thing, institutionalized, which means you have created policies and procedures that ensure equality and fairness and that allow everyone to feel safe and boundary and to know what the limits are. You've turned your finances around so that rather than running a deficit, you are sometimes even putting a little by. You've undertaken a huge project in looking at your community and what its future will be, taking an active role in creating that future. You've participated in interfaith activities and Unitarian Universalist collaborations in this county. You've created structures that allow for healthy communication and feedback. You've lent your voices to worship readings and to singing. You have partied and raised money, and you have shown up Sunday after Sunday. You've sent cards and made calls and cared for each other, cooked for each other. You've allowed religious language and calls for justice to coexist in worship, coming to understand that every Sunday won't be the perfect Sunday for you. You have learned over and over what it means to take a minister into your hearts and into your congregation and into your governance. You have stood by your words and marched and wrote letters and made calls to your representatives, and you have cultivated relationships across difference, and you have declared to the world where you stand on issues of racism and homophobia and anti-immigration. And you have been very patient with a new minister. You've opened your hearts to my family and cared for us as one of your own. You've done so much these last 4 years, so much that you should be so proud of. Because you've done all this even as you have lived your lives, caring for elders and raising your children and tending to your relationships and your work and trying to live your Unitarian Universalism out there in balanced and thoughtful lives. You should be really proud of yourselves. I know that I am very proud of you. I am proud to have helped you in some small way these last 4 years, to have been a part of all that you have accomplished. It's also true that there are lessons to take from these last 4 years, because not only was I new to ministry when I arrived here, but you too were new to full-time ministry. And so there is still work to be done in learning how that full-time ministry is best done here in this community. How best to keep a seat at the table for the minister, to include them in all things and make sure they're told all the things that matter. There's still work to do, as there is always work to do, and being able to speak honestly and openly to each other in ways that are kind and gentle. Work to do learning how to handle confrontation compassionately and with love. There's work to do claiming your pride in your Unitarian Universalism, learning not to be afraid of what we might call evangelizing. There's work to do in continuing to make sure that visitors and guests and newer members find their place and become part of this family, raised up into places of leadership, supported and encouraged in that work. But this learning how to be in covenant, keeping wide open the doors of welcome, proclaiming our prophetic liberal religion widely and loudly, this is the work of congregational life. This will always be the work of congregational life, alongside of caring for each other and championing each other. There is work to do, as there will always be work to do, and I know that you are up to it. And I too have work to do. Someone recently said to me that whenever he left a job, he would remind the folks he was leaving of all the things he'd done poorly, so they wouldn't fall prey to the trap of romanticizing his time with them. I'm not going to offer you a litany of but I will issue that same caution. I will say, when you are tempted to say, but Sarah did it this way, or Sarah said this was the right way to do it, just remember there are plenty of things that I did wrong, plenty of times that I had to apologize. This alongside a lot that was right, for sure. But I have my own growing to do, my own weaknesses to work on as I take leave of you. Being here with you gave me the chance to grow into ministry with the support and the care to be honest and clear about where I excel and where I fall short, That's a gift you gave me. We all have growing and learning to do. And that is what comes next, right? We move into the next phases of our lives with gratitude for what we've accomplished, alongside a commitment to learn lessons from our time together. We embark, both of us, all of us, on a new journey. When I attended camp the final summer, I knew it would be the last. I was 16. And for the first time, I knew I would be the one not coming back. I'd always felt keenly what it meant to be the one left behind, to feel that sense of hurt and wondering if something I did or didn't do might have changed things. And when the time came that I was the one doing the leaving, I think I finally realized that there had never been anything I could or couldn't have done, but that sometimes things end. Sometimes changes become necessary, even if we aren't fully ready for them. And that also, in all the times I had been left behind, I had also been beginning again, whether I realized it in the moment or not. I had also been embarking on a new journey. That in the leave-taking, regardless of who stays or who goes, there is an end that is also, for everyone, a beginning. That though one party travels on, all are indeed travelers. My academic work focused a lot on pilgrimage, and I know of few metaphors for life more apt than that one. Each of us is on our journey, traveling day by day through our lives, through all the rough spots and the easy spots, traveling unsure of where we will end up, the road before us. All of us are travelers looking to the future, looking to find meaning and purpose and a place in this life. Today's readings were two of my favorites exactly because they speak to this sense of journey, of traveling, and they encapsulate my best wishes for you. I wish for you, as you journey on, that you continue to give of yourselves, to each other, to your ministers, to the world. I wish for you that you keep sticking by each other, keep traveling alongside each other, keep giving love to each other. And I wish that as you journey, you are able to be attentive to yourselves, to find the deepest truths in you, to learn what your heart is trying to tell you, each of you. I wish for you that you come to understand these lives of yours as precious, sacred journeys that will bring you to parts unknown, and that you learn to discern what the urgencies are that deserve to claim you, as O'Donoghue writes, so that you can live these lives, walk these journeys, grateful and committed and thoughtful and attentive. The future is unknown, but the journey is exciting and wonderful. The leave-taking painful, but the end is the start of something new as well. T.S. Eliot quotes the mystic Julian of Norwich at the end of that poem and says, "All shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. And indeed it shall. We begin, we end, we begin again. This is the nature of our traveling, our journeying, our very living. And this is one more step along that long journey."
Each weekend, we make an offering from the bounty we are blessed to enjoy. We do this in a spirit of love and generosity, aware that we have benefited from those who have gone before, those who in their turn gave generously. Our offering goes to support the work of love and justice undertaken by this community. If you are a visitor, there is no expectation that you participate in this offering. Consider yourself our guest. This month's Share the Plate recipient is Rural and Migrant Ministry in Westchester in partnership with the Unitarian Universalist College of Social Justice. We will be helping to fund a scholarship for Hannah Van Dulson, whose work will focus on the Justice for Farm Workers campaign in Westchester County, New York City, and Long Island. For those of us who regularly participate in building and who also then benefit from this congregation, we ask you to remember that it is your regular and sustained giving that makes this congregation work, please give generously. The offering will now be given and gratefully received.
A dear friend of mine once told me her father's theory on loving, which is that once you open your heart to someone, they're never truly gone, even when they're gone. That they leave an imprint. This was his notion, right? That they leave an imprint on you. That your heart isn't empty, but there's like this little dent, like a little person-shaped dent where they once were. And I think this is right. When we leave one phase and enter another, we don't leave unchanged. We don't leave unaffected. We carry with us the lessons and the triumphs, the learnings and the love, and we carry the imprint of the people who affected us. We carry the most important things they said or did, or the feelings they brought out in us. So while I have many wishes for you, above all else, I wish one thing, and that is that you will remember the words I am about to speak. Okay? So this is that piece of the thing that must be said before the goodbye can be said. Okay? This is what I want you to hear if you have heard nothing else in the last 4 years. If you remember nothing else. You are wonderful. You are amazing. You, with all the things you are good at and all the things you struggle to do, all the times you do good things and all the times you misbehave, you are wonderful. You are loved beyond measure. All around you here is a community that wants you to be you, to be the very best you that you can be. You are beautiful. You are loved. You are sacred and you are holy and your lives are a miracle. I will miss you and I am grateful to you. Thank you for all you have given, for all you have shared, for all of your teachings and your care. Thank you. And I hope that in some small measure I have returned these gifts to you. And I hope that as we move forward from this moment, we all continue to open ourselves to relationships and ministries and communities that will care for us and hold us and push us and love us. Please rise in body or spirit for our final hymn. Sing out praises for the journey. It is 295.
These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
May the future of this congregation be bright and blessed and full of love. May the journey you step forward into bring you challenge and support and excitement. May the path unfold before you in ways surprising and new, and may you be ever attentive to the depths of your own heart, the hopes of your community, and the needs of the world. Go in peace.